What's going on, everyone? The moment is here. Game 6 in Los Angeles. It's time for the Lakers to close out this dynasty and force the Warriors to have to retool and go back to the drawing board this offseason, which I actually think they will regardless, but it would be beautiful and sweet to beat the Warriors at home in Los Angeles. Golden State has been a terrible road team all season. I know people look at them and how they beat Sacramento twice in Sacramento. Lakers are not Sacramento, and they've shown they are not Sacramento. Now, the Warriors, they're not just going to lay down. They're not just going to go away. I expect this to very likely be a hard-fought game, but I think the Lakers have shown enough throughout the series to show that they are the better team, and they will be able to create that separation to win this game and close out this series tonight. Game 5, we saw they had success scoring the ball. They were getting much easier baskets, and even earlier in the game, in the first half, the Warriors were shooting the lights out, like literally shooting the lights out. And it was a tie game, and the Lakers even had a lead at one point. And even like the last couple minutes going into halftime, it was only a 3-point game. Then Lakers kind of got a little sloppy. Steph hit some big shots, which is what Steph does. And then they kind of extended it. And then the Lakers were never able to catch back up because their defense wasn't locked in. And I felt like if that was a game where the defense really showed up, I really think the Lakers could have won that game because, again, the Warriors had no answer for the Lakers on the offense. So I expect those adjustments to be made. I expect the defense to be locked in and focused in this game in Los Angeles. I expect guys and the role guys to play better. Role guys always play better at home as opposed to on the road. I expect that to be a big factor as well, our guard play. And LeBron James, I expect them to really, not that LeBron's a role guy, but you get my point, that LeBron, I expect him to really be locked in and focused for this game. But look, it rests on Anthony Davis's shoulders, right? We need a dominant monster Anthony Davis. Not necessarily saying he has to go get 30-20, but we need him to establish himself on both sides of the basketball, be aggressive, be physical, and just dominate this matchup like he has the whole series. You know, all the talks about every other game, this, that, and the other, Anthony Davis has blown all of that out of the water. He's had one bad game this series. Outside of that, he has been great and he has been dominant, and I expect him to come home. He's a guy that I guarantee you has heard all of the talking, all of the murmurs, all of the laughter over his injury. People talking about how, he's soft and this, that, and the other, and, trade AD. And it's like, it's not his fault that Kevon Looney elbowed him in the temple or hit him with his forearm in the temple or whatever it was. At the end of the day, Anthony Davis was in position and got clobbered because the Warriors were allowed to do that because of the refs. Again, I don't mind physical basketball. It's the playoffs. If the refs want to let them play, let them play. I'm all for that. Okay, no worries. That's fine. But there has to be within reason, right? When there's clear fouls and just hammering, you got to make those calls, right? One team is being aggressive and shooting 70 to 75% of their attempts at the rim, and another team is shooting 50% of their attempts from the three-point line. There's going to be that free throw disparity. Credit Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr, talking about the flop. That was a play to get the refs to give them a whistle at home, and it worked. Well, now we're going to Los Angeles. The home whistle is a real thing, but I don't even care about the home whistle. I don't care about any of that stuff. If you're going to let them play, let them play. If you're going to let them be physical, let them be physical, but you can't call tic-tacs one way and then allow a team to get clobbered. It's got to be within reason. But I expect the Lakers to show up, set the tone, establish themselves. Warriors are not going to lay down. They're going to fight. They're going to do everything they can. But I expect the Lakers to get the job done. LeBron James knows how important this is. LeBron James does not want to go play a Game 7 in Golden State. Even if the Lakers lose today, I still believe that they win this series. They've already proven they can beat Golden State in Golden State. They've done it in the regular season. They've done it in the playoffs. But it's just so much more difficult. And you run the risk of the guys who have been non-factors this series for the Warriors all of a sudden waking up because they're at home. And again, role players usually play better at home. You have a real golden opportunity to close this out, win this game, and move on, get some rest, match that rest to Denver because Denver closed out yesterday. Last thing you want to do is lose this game. Now you got to go play Game 7. Let's say you win Game 7. Now you only got a day and a half rest, and now you got to go play the Denver Nuggets, where now if you close out today, you win today, you got essentially the same amount of rest as Denver, and you're good to go. You're ready to go. You're locked in. You're focused. You're making those adjustments. You're preparing yourself to go into that elevation and go try to close out them and win 4 of those games. Now you're in the NBA Finals, and let the cards lie where they may, right? I expect LeBron James to really just show out today. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to go off for 40. I mean, he can. He dropped, 56 against the Warriors earlier this season? I don't expect necessarily that. I don't even know if I necessarily want that, unless it's something he absolutely has to do, like if other guys aren't showing up. But I do expect him to get 25 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and really control this game. I think you'll see a LeBron James that's very methodical and like very similar to Game 4, right? Especially at the end of the game. You saw LeBron really kind of control that game. He was communicating. He that one on the hammer play, right? Anthony Davis and LeBron are in their defense, and he just calls it out to Anthony Davis to shoot to the corner to get the turnover. Like, things like that are all things that I expect to see from LeBron James, where he's controlling and basically dictating this game on multiple levels. I expect D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves to really pick it up. You've seen Austin Reeves start to kind of get in the flow, right? He was really struggling, especially those first 3 games of the season. The last 2 games, he really has kind of picked it up. I need to see that continue. He's getting to his spots. He just wasn't hitting his shots. I expect him to hit his shots. Same thing with D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell had a great game last game. Problem was he got in early foul trouble, and he was never able to get in a rhythm early. So, and by the time he came back in and got a rhythm, it was already a little too late. So we need him to get established, get going early. Our guard play, Dennis Schroeder, we've shown that they have a mismatch in our guard play. Right? Yes, they have Steph. Yes, they have Clay. They have, Poole. They have those guys. But Austin Reeves, D'Lo, and Schroeder have gotten everything they've wanted this series. And I don't expect that to all of a sudden change. Lakers did a much better job in the pick and roll in the last game. I expect them to make the adjustments, to make the changes, to win this game. Game 5, I wanted the Lakers to win. I originally picked the Lakers to win in 6. So my original prediction, I believe them to win this game. I wanted them to win in Game 5. I was hoping they win in Game 5 to kind of just close it out and get the extra rest. But, the Lakers laxed, which is, understandable. They know that they got Game 6 in LA. Well, now you're here. It's time to close out. It's time to lock down. I know I've seen it. All the people that are throwing out, the Warriors have won 28 straight road games. Steve Kerr is 19-0 against Western Conference teams, the Corky, which, don't worry, I'm going to do a whole video about that when this series is over. But, the whole Corky dog thing, all of that stuff. I've heard all of that. Guess what? None of that matters. The Lakers have already broken several of the Warriors' records this playoff series, such as when Clay and Steph scored 20-plus points at home, and they were undefeated in that stretch. Lakers beat them. The Warriors had 3 guys hit 6 3-pointers or more, and no team period had ever lost a game when that happened, and the Lakers got that done. Right? All of that. The Lakers are undefeated at home. They have the best margin in crunch time by a long mile. That's why the Lakers are winning the series. I mean, literally, they're 25 points better than the second best team. The Lakers are it. They have the best defense. They have everything. All streaks come to an end. All, dynasties eventually come to an end. And this Lakers team is built perfectly to beat that team. You have JaMychal Green talking about LeBron James. You don't think LeBron James knows that? And last time that happened, what happened in the Memphis series? And I'm not saying Warriors are Memphis, but what happened when Dylan Brooks started chirping? Everybody on the league, it wasn't just LeBron, the entire team took it personally, stepped up and blew them out. And I don't expect an absolute blowout. I would love it. I expect this to be a tight game, but I think the Lakers pull away and win this by double digits. Andrew Wiggins is going to give it a go. Andrew Wiggins is going to try to play. We don't know for sure if he's going to play. He's going to be doing, the run through and all that stuff. Go through his pregame workout and stuff. And if he is good, then he'll try to give it a go, which means he's going to be limited. But even then, you need to prepare for him. He's a guy that can go off. He hasn't had the best series, but he is coming off of a great game. 25 points on 10 of 18 from the field. Two-way guy. He's one of their best two-way guys. And I do expect him to play. I even made a video about the injury earlier today, and I even said in that video that I think he very likely will try to play. But Lakers need to lock in, need to prepare, need to be ready for him. He's a guy that can make an impact. You got to. They've done a great job of slowing down Klay. Klay, to begin this series, looked unstoppable. Lakers made the adjustments, and since then, he has been just rough. He's averaging 10 points per game since then. Jordan Poole has basically been a non-factor. They've neutralized those guys. This game very likely is going to rest on Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins. Maybe you get that Game 6 Klay. I know a lot of people are worried about Game 6 Klay. Game 6 Klay hasn't been Game 6 Klay in a while. The last 3 Game 6 games, he is averaging just around 10 points per game. So Game 6 Klay that we know hasn't been Game 6 Klay for a while. There is that potential. It doesn't mean hey, let's just forget about Klay Thompson and focus on Draymond, Wiggins, and Steph. But you just keep doing what you're doing on Klay Thompson. It's working. Go get and try to slow down Andrew Wiggins. Do your best to slow down Steph. Steph is going to get what he wants. He's going to score, but you got to make it difficult, right? Don't let him get hot. Don't let him get going. Don't allow him to hit too many of those just gut-wrenching shots that just are momentum killers. And really kind of, again, control and lock in defensively. I expect LeBron James and Anthony Davis to play 90% of this game. I expect the rotation to kind of be tight. I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers go to a 7-man rotation, maybe 8 at the most, with winning Gabriel or Tristan Thompson just to get AD some rest. But I think we see this Game 6 exactly like we saw with the Memphis Grizzlies, where I think LeBron James and Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell play 90% of that game. And then you have Vando, Schroeder, and Rui are kind of the guys that are getting the average minutes. But I expect our core 4 guys, unless there's some crazy foul trouble or something, our core 4 guys to kind of pick it up and play a good chunk of this game. And we need all 4 of those guys to show up, right? How do you adjust for Andrew Wiggins potentially going off for 25? Austin Reeves goes and gets you 20. Right? I mean, obviously defense, stuff like that, but Reeves is more than capable of giving you 20 and offsetting Andrew Wiggins, right? I've talked about if Austin Reeves can win that matchup against Klay, we're going to win this series. He wasn't winning that matchup to start the series. He's won the matchup the last few games. So if he continues to win that matchup, Lakers are going to win this game. D'Angelo Russell, how do you stop? How do you offset Draymond Green getting 20? I don't really think he's going to get 20, but that might be the Lakers' plan. Is let him, if he wants to go get 20, let him go get 20. Control everybody else, right? How do you offset that? D'Lo goes off for 20 or something like that, right? Last Game 6 against Memphis, who had a much better defense and was giving D'Lo much bigger fits. He went off for 31, right? So Mr. Ice in his veins, I expect him to show up. I expect Austin Reeves to show up. I wouldn't be shocked if this is another game like we saw in Game 6 in the Memphis series. Not that we win by 40, but that when you look at the score and you look at the box score, it's a team game, right? LeBron's got 25. Maybe AD's got 18, 20. D'Lo's got 20. Reeves has got 20. Schroeder's got 15. Rui's got 15, right? Stuff like that. I could see this being a real collective style game where the team shows up and closes these guys out. And we need it. Got to be aggressive, got to attack, got to play our game. If we play our brand of basketball, we're going to win this game. We're going to win this series. I expect the Lakers to do so tonight. I expect them to be locked in with the intensity and focus that we need. Don't get too high with the highs, don't get too low with the lows, right? This is a game of basketball. Basketball is a game of runs. The Warriors go on their runs. The Lakers are going to go on their runs. Ideally, in a perfect world, Lakers start the game on like a 15-2 run, and they never look back. And they just beat the brakes off of these guys for 48 minutes. That would be beautiful. But in reality, that's probably what's not going to happen here. Very likely, this is going to be a back-and-forth game. I wouldn't be surprised if, the Warriors are up 10 at one point, and then the Lakers catch back up. They're up 10. I wouldn't be shocked at all if it's this back-and-forth pendulum game of runs type game. But I do believe that if the Lakers lock in, focus, and are ready to go, they'll win this game. If it's a tight game, I trust the Lakers to win. That's why I picked them to beat Memphis. That's why I picked them to beat the Warriors. That's why I'm going to pick them to beat Denver and whomever else. Because in crunch time, the Lakers have the best defense and have a good enough offense to win games down the stretch, right? And the numbers back it up. The Lakers, again, are the best team in crunch time. The Warriors have lost a lot of these games because the Lakers have just pulled away in crunch time, right? Like, that's a big thing. So I expect the Lakers to lock down, have that urgency early on, play this like a Game 7, as we saw in the Memphis series. And you also know in the second half, the Lakers really do like to turn it on. I don't really want, a coasting first half. I want them, just like Game 6 against Memphis, locked in, focused, ready to go, up. The game's over at halftime. I don't think the game will be over at halftime, but I'd like, a 7 to 12 point lead going into the half, and then the Lakers kind of continue to add that separation going into the second half, right? And now the Warriors have to exhaust themselves playing catch up the whole game. That's my goal. That's my hope. In a perfect world, this game's over by the fourth quarter and the Lakers can just rest Anthony Davis and LeBron James. That would be beautiful, but don't expect it. Don't expect it. But I do expect the Lakers to win. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Think the Lakers win? How much do you think they win by? All that stuff, let me know down in the comments.